Good morning everyone and welcome back to day 3 of our workshop. I have absolutely no idea what we're doing today except for the presentation at the end, which I have found my canvas. If you've seen the last video, I lost it. I left it in here. I was hoping it didn't get stolen and it hasn't. So amazing. So this is the canvas I absolutely destroyed. I don't know if I've shown what it was like before. Maybe I have a photo that I might insert here, but it was disgusting and it's literally been through years of paint, so it's time for it to get destroyed. It's time for it to end its life in a performance. I'm very excited.
Hello. So, I'm getting my good object. Honestly, I struggled really hard with this and I went through a few different decisions on what I wanted for my good item, but at the end of it I kind of just decided on my Snuddy because I'm pretty sure he's famous on this platform by now, but my Snuddy is my bestie and keeps me loved and warmed and just all the good stuff. He just gives off good vibes, so he has been selected as my good item. And that, to be honest, at the moment is the only amount of context that we have of what's going on today. We need a good item. So, can't wait to see what they teach us today. Well, that has to be the most informative and beautiful workshop I've ever done in my life. I've just learnt so much. I'm going to wait for James to come home and tell you about my performance, but before that I'm gonna let you in on what we learnt today. And I'm only waiting for James because I just love his input and I love his reactions to things. Just the comparison between an actor and an artist is just so interesting, definitely when it comes to performance. So I want James's opinion and I want you guys to see it too. What I have learned today is, which I think is really important, that you don't have to like a certain type of art or painting or image to accept it. Accept that it's in the world and accept that people like it and accept everything for what it is. But on the flip side, you can like a piece of artwork but not accept it. For example, say war art. I don't love it, but I accept that it exists. Doesn't mean I like it. And then there's stuff that I do like and I wouldn't think that it is acceptable. I think it's just to learn to accept art for what it is, and equally you don't have to accept it if you don't want to, but to know that someone's created it and put some effort into it and that other people like it, I think that's what you have to accept the most. I also have learnt today that the most important thing is that you play, and that's exactly what I did for the first half the day. I just played. I had a hat and I explored it and I enjoyed it, and then with the hat I just didn't anymore, so I threw it away in my performance. And I just found that playing and feeling and connecting with an object or what you're doing in your performance is something that is really important, especially in the act and in the moment and in the performance. Just mellow with it. I think that's really important, and that's exactly what I've learned today. I also learned that because I was going to speak in my performance, but when we were learning during the day, I decided not to, because we kind of learned that speech isn't dialogue in performance art. Like, it can be, but in performance art it has to be an important statement and a sentence, and it has to have diction and power to it. Otherwise it's just words. And it's kind of like they are nothing without a bit of something behind them, you know? It has to be something. Like, the words have to mean something, have to do something. I've also noticed from my notebook from this week that I've literally written down so many quotes from our tutor. Or can you call her a tutor? Because she's like a guest. Yeah, I'd say she's like a guest tutor. Anyways, I have so many quotes from her, and it's just so funny because there's loads of stuff that I've said over the past 2 days that have been direct quotes from her that I've written down. There's a few here that I think are really important. The first one is, something will happen to you, you just need time. And I think that's like, it's good in like a world sense, like something in your life will happen, you just need to take your time. But also in performance, like, something will happen and will come to you, and something good will come to you, you just have to take your time. And that leads on to a different quote: you surprise when you find things, like, you get good ideas by being patient. And then we also learned about body empathy and being kind, and also you doing a performance for you, and it's a moment, and it's just for you at the end of the day. Like, it's not for anyone else to comment or judge or see it, even though someone will. It's evidently just for you. And there's a few more like direct quotes, and they're just so good. Like, she said that art is a connection back to life, and I'm just like, yes, because like, we all know I had a really bad year, and just that statement in general just sums up everything that I believe in. Just, everyone needs creativity and art, and it just brings so much life and energy. It's just a great quote that I really stand by. And then she also said, a fear to fail has to disappear, because you're never going to do anything if you fear to fail, because failure is inevitable. But if you never try, you never fail, and you never succeed if you don't try. And the fear not to do anything in fear of failing is just not acceptable, so it has to disappear. I think that's just so powerful too. But there's also like, if it stresses you too much, then it's not for you. I always believe that, like, if something is becoming too much, you either power through because you feel like you feel deep down that you can do it, or that you can push through. But if you feel like you utterly cannot do something that you shouldn't, then you should not do it. Because if it feels wrong, it most definitely is wrong. This camera is getting very heavy because I'm emotionally and physically exhausted. Not emotionally, but like mentally. So I'm going to wait for James to come home, and I'm going to talk about my performance. I might show some of it, I might not, but it will be on my channel if I do decide to put it up there, you know? My first ever performance in front of people, like, that isn't within the class. Anyways, it's just so weird. I'm still like buzzing off it, you know? Performance is weird.